Hey guys, in this video we're going to be going over the final stage, putting the muzzle on and leaving it on. The last video we went over how to use pressure in relation to the muzzle conditioning process, and so a lot of what we talked about in that last video will apply to this one. So first, we want to make sure that the slip lead is on the dog. If you're using a collar and a leash, that's fine. Just make sure your leash is connected to the dog. We have food ready. Sit. Good. I think it's a good idea to feed the dog every time you put the muzzle on. Now, in terms of how tight I have the muzzle on him, it's snug. It's not going to fall off, but it's not tight. It's not too uncomfortable. Not at this stage. All right, so it's one thing to be seated down. It's another thing entirely to be standing and having the dog move a bit. So I don't want there to be a ton of movement. All right, but I do want him to try some of this stuff. And when he does, I simply apply pressure and I turn that pressure off once he stops. If your dog is trained to sit with pressure, then a lot of times he'll just sit, which is fine. So for me at this stage, if he sits in response to pressure, I'm gonna actually give him food. To a certain degree, I want the dog to try to get the muzzle off so that I can add pressure. And on the other side, I want him to try to get it off so that he can see that he can't get it off, so he might as well enjoy the process or enjoy whatever there is to enjoy with the muzzle on. So clearly this dog would much rather have the muzzle not be on right now. He's moving kind of awkwardly. Trying a little bit there. Ensure that your dog cannot be successful in trying to get the muzzle off, all right? If he does manage to get that muzzle off, with his paws, he will try the next time twice as hard with a lot more commitment. Limit the amount of movement that you do, but do encourage him to move. There's a piece of kibble here. I was curious if he was going to be able to get it. He was not. I'll help you, bud. There you go. So after the dogs, after they try to get the muzzle off, and get over the initial shock of, man, this thing is on and it's uncomfortable and I don't want it on. Then what I'm hoping they'll do is check back in with me. Well, I got it on. Are you gonna help me get it off? Or maybe you're gonna give me some food? And that's kind of where I want them to stay. So I do want to be reinforcing them for giving me that level of attention, even with the muzzle on. But at this stage, remember, he's already been rewarded a lot with the muzzle being on. So I'm not feeding him constantly at this stage. I've already done a lot of that work. And then I would continue on this path for several more sessions. where the leash is involved and I'm able to stop the dog from getting the muzzle off. And I would hope that he can acquire, you know, a number of hours with supervision, being under supervision, before I would fully trust him with the muzzle on. And after you're done with that stage, you guys, you are fully muzzle conditioned and you should be able to trust your dog with the muzzle off and actually implement it in your training or as you need it. Good. Once they're showing me signs of comfort, like when in motion, like they're not pawing at it nearly as much, they do this weird thing where they freeze their head as their body turns and then they do a lot of jerking motions. We'll see if they'll do it right here. Yeah, like that right there. I want to be seeing less of that as time goes on, less of this pawing at it. So just moving with your dog, and as he needs breaks, give him breaks. And once you can move without him being super awkward or jerky or showing signs of stress, you can start to drop the leash, move away from him, and just allow him to collect time in the muzzle until you ultimately trust him on it trust him alone with it such that he's not trying to get it off anymore. And then you are muzzle conditioned in a way that was not very stressful to the dog, which is nice. That's very good, bud. When I go to take it off, I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. It's gonna be rewarding in and of itself, so I don't see the need of pawing the dog. I might just give him a little bit of massage here, or paying the dog, excuse me. So I'm just gonna give him a nice little massage here, make him thinking about the massage, not the muzzle. Take the slip lead off, free dog. Nice little shake off, and we're good to go. Nice job, bud.